But it's when we don't accept who we are, where we are, that we create these delusions and illusions, and we feed into them, and it's a true disservice for who we are. So we're doing ourselves a disservice by not being honest. We're doing ourselves a disservice by not making the necessary changes, because inspiration turns to intimidation real quick when the person that you're inspired by doesn't align to your. Okay, yeah, this is a great idea. Okay, so this came because I was at the gym and someone gave me feedback on my content and the driving and the talking. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that because I am literally always in my car. I'm waiting for people to cross the street. Okay, so this is great because the conversation that I heard while I was walking out of the gym between a couple of gentlemen were, I'd rather have a woman who makes her own and does this, and this than a woman who does that, and a woman who does that, and a woman who doesn't do that. And when I came out, I was like, oh, this is a conversation being had amongst undesirables. So when I'm speaking and teaching on self mastery, and even when I'm teaching women, more specifically, I work with a lot of women. I've reduced the amount of men that I've worked with. Um, it looks like everybody's centered on something except for themselves. Everybody's centered on something except for themselves. Undesirables, it doesn't necessarily just put you in a bucket of somebody who is physically unattractive, but it does put you in a boat where you may not have the options to choose what it is that you actually want. So you end up settling, whether you're a man or a woman or whatever, complaining about life. This isn't just even about relationships. This is uh assets and education. I'm in the gym and there's somebody that came up to me, and she, I came at an earlier time today, and people just want to complain. And I realize like how much I've transformed my life. And when you do that, you open your eyes. You're removing your own scales from your eyes. You are taking ownership for your ignorance. You are taking ownership for the things you didn't pay attention to. You are taking ownership for your life. And when you choose to take ownership for your life, you're going to start seeing the bullshit. You're going to start seeing the excuses that you used to have. And I was telling someone the other day, and I was like, yo, I used to have excuses. Like, I understand. I used to be those people. I used to be that. So while I understand, I also am like, yo, that's bullshit, Amber. That's bullshit. You could have, you should have, but everybody's on their own life lesson. Everybody's on their own journey. But it's when we don't accept who we are, where we are, that we create these delusions and illusions, and we feed into them, and it's a true disservice for who we are. So we're doing ourselves a disservice by not being honest. We're doing ourselves a disservice by not making the necessary changes, because inspiration turns to intimidation real quick when the person that you're inspired by doesn't align to your weaknesses, when the person that you're inspired by doesn't fold to your will, when the person you're inspired by doesn't make the time for you that you may need. Now it turns into intimidation. When empowerment turns into envy, it's when this person that you think is empowering you to be and do the best of yourself is not hand holding your hand anymore, and not telling you X, Y, and Z, 1, 2, and 3, ABC, that you then feel the envy, because you're like, I'm trying to get to where you are. Why can't you just help me? Because that person got themselves there. That's there. However that how is, they got themselves there. That's not your business. Too many of us are so interested in other people's lives and their how and their bridge that we're missing the opportunity to be present in our own lives. We're missing the opportunities to be present in our own lives because we're too busy consuming the lives of others. I'm very intentional about what I share on social media, the Matrix reality, because I don't want people to get consumed with my personal life. I'm here to share a message. I'm here to teach. I'm here to align to the collective about their healing, about their ascension, about their transcending journey, about becoming the whole of themselves. My personal life is irrelevant unless I'm using it in a way to continue teaching. And that's what I do. But knowing my inner details and all these little, like, that's not curiosity, that's nosy. People be masking their nosiness as curiosity when, bro, go read a book. You can read about other people's lives. Now, when my autobiography come out, then y'all can read it. But we're not yet there at that point in life. But it just goes to show people talk and we talk ourselves out of the shit that we want. Bro, if you want a woman that works and has this and does this, what kind of man do you need to be for her? Because people only want people to be how they want them to be for their benefit, which, okay, is true. But we forget the other side, that we have to benefit the other person as well. That's reciprocity. You have to have reciprocity. If you don't got no reciprocity, what you're commanding, what you're demanding from someone it's not viable. It's not going to be sustainable. Now, what you command from people is what you offer, is what you extend. I command respect from anybody, everybody, every single living thing. I command it because I give it. And guess what? When I don't receive it, my respect is still owed to myself. I still owe myself the respect. Oftentimes we want these things without understanding that we must embody the identity. We must become the people who live like this. You say, oh, I want this kind of car. Okay, what does a person with that kind of car do? They pay their bills on time. They insure their credit. They shop the different insurances. They visit different dealerships. They build relationships. They're determined. Are you being and becoming who you need to be and become for the life that you desire to live? So when I say the undesirables, it's people who are not becoming the beingness that they need to acquire the demands that they're making. You only make demands when you're, that is so good. You're only making demands when you have no power. You only make demands when you have no power. When you have power, you are commanding. When you have power, you are commanding. When you're demanding something, you literally have no power. You literally have no power. You literally have no power when you are demanding something. But when you command something, you're standing in your power as an individual. When you are demanding, you're powerless. When you are commanding, you are powerful because you are able to differentiate between where you were, where you are, and where you're going. You're able to accept your reality for what it is so that you can begin making the necessary changes to improve. If you want to say, well, I want a man who's like this, this, and this, what kind of woman do you need to become? Because you have a lot of people who are like, I'm decentering this, and y'all really desire a relationship and partnerships, but you're punishing yourself because you're looking at the lives of other people and you're like, I want to be like that. Compared to, what do you really want? You got people who are monogamous that need to be polyamorous. You got people who are polyamorous who need to be monogamous. You got people who are working hourly jobs that need to be salary. You got people who are salary workers who need to be hourly workers, not because I said they need to be, but maybe because their soul is calling for something different. When it comes down to it, we are punishing ourselves. When I think about the book, The Seat of the Soul, it talks about how we punish ourselves. When I think about the book, Four Agreements, we are responsible for our lives. When we think about everything that has to do with self-empowerment, self-mastery, growth, ascension, and next level. It all has to do with taking responsibility and being accountable for your reality. So I like this morning ramble. This is what I want. I said, I want my YouTube. I'm like, how? I just have to structure things how I need to structure things and record how I need to do it. So if you're seeing this, keep going, keep growing. I love you. I love you. I love you. Tap in, subscribe to arichbook.com, join the Rich Life Collective Telegram space. My ebook, The Path to Self Mastery, is going to be coming soon. I love you, love you, love you.